During the Monaco Grand Prix, something happened on the Ferrari team radio that didn't just show a moment of confusion. It revealed a deeper issue inside the team. As Charles Leclerc celebrated a home podium in front of a cheering crowd, a different story unfolded in the background. It happened when Lewis Hamilton received a radio message that went out live. The words were clear: "Push now, this is our race." But the timing of that message and its meaning raised many questions. It didn't look like a mistake. It felt like something more, something intentional. Hamilton didn't overreact, he followed the order. But what followed after that made everyone watching realize this wasn't just a normal strategy call. It was a sign of something bigger going on inside Ferrari. Lewis Hamilton was far from the lead. He was about 50 seconds behind. There was no real chance to catch up, no threats behind him, no cars in front to attack. Yet his engineer, Riccardo Adami, gave the push order. It made no sense. Hamilton obeyed, pushing hard and burning through his tires. But there was no result, no reward. The numbers didn't lie. The gap was too big to close. The tires lost grip for no gain. The question isn't whether there was a mix-up. The real question is why such an order was given in the first place, and who inside Ferrari made that call. It's becoming clear that something isn't right behind the scenes. This wasn't the first time Hamilton experienced vague instructions and unclear communication at Ferrari. Throughout the race, he kept asking questions. He wanted updates on his position and the gaps to the cars ahead. He asked about Verstappen, Leclerc, Norris, and Piastri. But the answers he received weren't helpful. They were vague, confusing, and sometimes missing altogether. In Formula One, when a driver doesn't get exact numbers, there are usually only two reasons. Either there's a technical issue or the team doesn't want to give a straight answer. In this case, it didn't seem like a glitch. It felt deliberate. And that's where the real problem starts. Hamilton wasn't asking those questions for fun. He was trying to figure out the strategy. He was thinking, calculating, trying to understand what the team was planning. And the silence or the half answers he got in return told him everything. The strategy wasn't about helping him move forward. It was about something else. Hamilton has been in Formula One long enough to know when something doesn't add up. And this time it didn't. The command to push came out of nowhere. The gap ahead was too big, the gap behind was safe, there was no logic. Yet he was told to go for it. And that's what makes this so concerning. Because when orders don't match the facts, they become something else entirely. Sometimes in Formula One, teams give instructions to drivers not just for performance but for political reasons. To make it seem like there's a fight when there isn't one. To protect another driver's race, or to shape a certain story. In Monaco, it felt like Hamilton was being used to build a story that wasn't true. A message was sent. Push now, this is our race. But it wasn't his race. He wasn't in a position to fight. The message didn't help him. It hurt him. And when he looked back after the race, he said it clearly. I wasn't anywhere near the guys up front. That simple statement said it all. The push was pointless. The effort was wasted. Tires were burned for no reason. It wasn't a strategy, it was a distraction. During the race, Hamilton's performance was solid. He started 7th, which already placed him at a disadvantage. He had been penalized, boxed in, and stuck in traffic from the beginning. But he kept pushing. He overtook Haas's Oliver Behrman and then Fernando Alonso. He did his job. Then suddenly there was silence. No more overtakes, no clear strategy, no updates. It was like he was racing in no man's land. He even described it that way himself. No man's land. That phrase isn't just about being alone on track, it means being left without purpose, without direction. While Leclerc's strategy was working perfectly and helping him climb the standings, Hamilton was left drifting. That's not something you expect from a team like Ferrari, especially with a 7-time world champion in the car. What makes this even more worrying is the way Hamilton responded. He didn't panic, he didn't shout. He kept his cool, he kept asking for information, trying to understand. But the silence he got in return wasn't just disappointing. It was telling. At one point, he asked a very simple question. Am I a minute behind? And the answer wasn't clear. The engineer gave a vague reply. Hamilton then replied with frustration, You're not answering the question. That moment showed how broken the communication had become. A champion was trying to get a basic update, and he couldn't even get that. Not because the information wasn't available, but because someone didn't want to give it. This kind of silence and confusion doesn't happen by accident in Formula One. Everything is planned. Every message is timed. So when a driver doesn't get a straight answer, it usually means something deeper is going on. Hamilton wasn't just dealing with a race strategy, he was dealing with trust, or rather, the loss of it. He started to realize that the team around him might not be as united as they seemed, that behind the polite faces and supportive words, there were divisions. In a great team, everyone moves as one. The driver trusts the engineer. The engineer gives clear instructions. But in Monaco, Hamilton was left without that chain of command. He was alone. The most shocking moment came when Hamilton asked a quiet but powerful question. "Are you upset with me?" That wasn't a joke. It wasn't sarcasm. It was a real moment of vulnerability. A top driver asking his own engineer if something had gone wrong between them. That question opened a window into Hamilton's mind. He wasn't just frustrated. He was confused, maybe even hurt. Because what happened on that radio didn't feel like a racing mistake. It felt like something personal, like a message being sent not just to him, but through him. After the race, Hamilton didn't explode. He didn't attack anyone publicly, but he made sure to point out the truth. He said he was nowhere near the cars in front. That means the call to push had no purpose. It only hurt him. That's not just a waste of tires, that's a waste of trust. In Formula One, when a driver gets the wrong information, it affects everything, not just the race, but the relationship with the team. Hamilton knows that, and now Ferrari knows that he knows. This wasn't about one bad call. It was about a pattern. Monaco was a moment of truth for Ferrari and for Hamilton. It showed how differently the team handled its two drivers. Leclerc got a clear strategy, perfect timing, support when he needed it. He finished second in front of his home crowd. Meanwhile, Hamilton was left with confusion, unclear messages, missed opportunities. Same car, same team, but two very different experiences. That's not how a top team should operate. That's how divisions begin. The order to push when there was no race to push for felt like something worse than a mistake. It felt like manipulation, like someone inside the team was trying to create a show. Maybe to make it look like Hamilton was still in the fight, or maybe to distract from something else. But Hamilton saw through it. He knows the game. He's played it for years. He understands when a strategy is real and when it's just for show. In Monaco, he saw through the illusion. Ferrari promised a united front when they signed Hamilton. They said they would give him the tools to win. But Monaco showed something else. A team that isn't quite ready for someone like Hamilton. A team that still plays politics instead of pure racing. And now, the question isn't whether Hamilton will lead Ferrari. The question is whether Ferrari is ready to follow. Hamilton didn't come to Ferrari to be a backup. He didn't come to play a supporting role to Leclerc. He came to build something new, to make history, to turn Ferrari into a winning team again. But that only works if the team works with him, not against him. In Monaco, we saw the start of something serious, not a fight, but a shift. Hamilton is now fully aware of what's happening around him. He's watching, calculating, waiting for the moment to make his next move. He's not going to accept confusion anymore. He's not going to let unclear strategies ruin his races. He will start to challenge the calls, question the motives, demand answers. And when he does, Ferrari will have to respond. Because if they don't, they risk losing more than just race pace. They risk losing the man who could lead them back to greatness. Hamilton's silence after Monaco wasn't weakness. It was strength. It was control. He didn't lash out. He didn't blame. He simply showed that he knows, that he understands the bigger picture. And now the pressure is on Ferrari. They must choose. Do they want to back Leclerc as the favorite and leave Hamilton in the dark? Or do they want to build a real team, one where both drivers get equal support and equal trust? The next races will be crucial. Hamilton will not forget what happened in Monaco. He will use it as fuel, as motivation, and if Ferrari continues to play politics, they will soon learn what it means to face a driver who's not just fast, but also mentally sharp and strategically aware. Monaco wasn't just a race. It was a warning, a message, and Hamilton delivered it with quiet precision. Now, every move he makes will be watched closely, every question he asks on the radio, every change in strategy.